Welcome to Lorain Conversation. We're here at the Lorain County Correctional Facility on Murray Ridge Road in Elyria. We want to find out about the efficiency of the operation and also some of the needs. And the person who certainly should have the answers for us is Sheriff Martin J. Mahony. Sheriff, the area you cover is much larger than most people realize.
That's true, Alice. We cover 320 square miles, which includes 18 townships and 16 municipalities and villages in Lorain County.
But so many people think of the sheriff's office as sheriff's cars just riding around. They do a lot more than that.
Oh, we do quite a bit more. We have 3 divisions at the Sheriff's Department. One is the Law Enforcement Division, which is the most visible. The second is the Correctional Division, where we maintain the correctional facility here. And we have the Civil Division.
We better backtrack just a little bit. I want to find out what kind of crimes are committed that bring prisoners in here.
We run the full gamut from felonies down to misdemeanors. That includes the felonies such as murder, rape, robbery, misdemeanors as assault, theft, shoplifting, etc.
I saw some statistics, and it looked as though some of the crimes were on the increase. Is that true?
In 1985, we found that, in general, in the county, the crime increased. We found that the largest increase was burglary, approximately 76%. However, robbery dropped almost 76% also.
What about rape, with people reporting it more?
We found an increase of about 18% in rape cases. But we attribute a lot of this to the fact that the child abuse is on the increase in being reported, and many of these investigations result in rape charges.
Of course, one of your jobs is to try to keep crime down as well as to control it.
That's correct.
Let's get into the 3 divisions so we understand more about it. What about the Civil Division?
Okay, the Civil Division is located over in the county courthouse in downtown Elyria.
So you keep someone over there, too?
Yes, I have 6 employees in the Civil Division. We are responsible for serving all of the papers of the common pleas courts, the summonses, the grand jury notices, the jury notices. Sometimes when they see our civil people coming, people either don't want to open the door or go the other way because it may result in jury duty. We also conduct sheriff sales. Last year, our Civil Division took in over $4 million. Do
you have an auctioneer for these sheriff sales?
Captain Ann Stanislawski is our auctioneer for the sheriff
But that
sales.
brings in money to the division.
Our fees bring in money to the division. We collect the money for foreclosures of banks, etc., that are ordered through the court on sheriff sale. The amount of money we brought into the general fund last year was approximately $83,000 of that $4 million.
But they didn't give that to you to operate?
No, that's put directly into the general fund and is divided up.
What is your budget? I'm curious.
Our budget this year will be over $3 million, probably in the area of $3.5 million.
Well, that's the Civil Division, and of course they go out and serve those subpoenas and things that you develop.
Yes, they do.
Here in the Correctional Institute, what sort of things go on here?
Well, in the Correctional Division, we are responsible for housing all of the prisoners from once they reach the grand jury level on a felony charge from every municipality in the county.
Do you have enough room for all the prisoners?
The jail was designed to house 163 residents. Right now, we're averaging approximately 175 to 180.
How do you take care of the extras?
Well, what we've done is gotten more bunk beds. We've created a couple dormitories. One in the trustee quarters, we can house an additional 26 people. And in the women's facility section, we can house an additional 10 to 14. This has increased our capacity with bunks up to about 199.
All right, now we have the Civil and the Correctional. What's the third one?
The Law Enforcement Division. This is the most visible of the department. It includes our deputies. We have 46 people in the Law Enforcement Division. Our detectives are part of that. We have 7 people assigned to the Detective Bureau. We have a canine unit composed of 5 individuals and their dogs. We have a litter officer that goes about the county investigating litter complaints. I have a crime prevention officer that's available for talks and is instituting safety towns throughout the county. Last year was the first year we had a safety town in LaGrange. And my crime prevention officer worked with the chief of police of LaGrange on developing that program.
You also go out and give talks, because there aren't too many people who really know all the things that go on here, are there?
No, I've found that the sheriff's office is somewhat of a mysterious office.
You're way out there in the country.
We're out in the country, and I think people view that we drive around the rural areas patrolling that. That is a very important function that we have. However, the Correctional Division is probably the most important to every resident of the county, including the people that reside in the municipalities.
So many people are curious, so you ride around in the county. Now, can your officers act in the cities like Elyria and Lorain?
Yes, the sheriff's deputy, or the sheriff himself. The sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer in the county.
For the whole area?
For the whole county. And we have jurisdiction not only in the unincorporated areas, but also in the municipalities. We have worked with local police departments. Recently, we conducted an auto theft investigation with the Elyria Police Department, which resulted in arrests not only in the townships, but also in the city of Elyria.
And that, of course, was very important to crack down on that sort of area of crime.
Yes, in our jurisdiction, we found that auto theft was rising last year, and it's something that we want to deal with. I find that auto theft is not something that's limited to one locality. It's not only just county-wide, but it can be multi-county. Our investigation took us to Cuyahoga County, Medina County, and Lorain County.
So the work doesn't stop right here. Sheriff Mahony, we have at least the groundwork of the facility, but in just a moment we're going to talk about the jail itself, and if it comes up to standards and what some of the needs are. And so we'll be back in just a moment. We'll find out about the housing of the prisoners here. Discussion with Sheriff Martin J. Mahony. Sheriff Mahony, I'm concerned about, how do you know whether or not this facility meets standards?
Well, Alice, we're inspected once a year by the state jail inspector. 4 times a year, the grand jury tours our facility and gives recommendations and grades us, so to speak. We also are inspected by the local fire department. We meet accreditation by the American Correctional Association and the National Institute of Corrections.
So everybody's checking up to be sure everything runs the right way. Not too long ago, when the grand jury came through, they objected to the windows. As I understand, there was a time when they could actually put a match to the window and try to escape.
In the past, when the jail was originally built, the windows, which is a Lexan glass, could be pushed out and allow a prisoner to get through that window. But after a few escapes, the window size was made smaller. Now no one can get through it. We still have that same type of glass, and the grand jury's comment was that the glass clouded over, and it prohibited us to see through glass in critical areas within the facility.
How do you manage to see through with those still cloudy?
Well, what we did is first we tried to see if we could correct the glass itself. The time to file a lawsuit against the company had expired by the time I took office. But what we've done is we installed cameras in various sections of the pod area, and that allows us to view via television camera the various sections that we can't see through the clouded glass.
Of course, there's one area where there are all those television monitors around. The person who's in charge there really is under great stress. What all do they have to keep track of?
That's our control room number 1. They run every electrical lock within the facility. They also monitor who comes inside the facility through the employee entrance, through the main entrance after 4 o'clock. They monitor all the pods. We have a direct supervision facility here. Our correctional officers are right inside the block, and they can monitor what's going on inside those blocks to protect the individual correctional officers that are working.
So they can actually see throughout the entire area. I was curious about the fact that you have different pods. Why do you separate these prisoners?
Well, by minimum jail standards, we have to separate the prisoners. We have basically 6 different areas. We have 2 felony sections, the northeast and the northwest pod, 2 misdemeanor sections, the southeast and southwest pod. We have the women's facility and the trustee quarters.
Why do some of the prisoners have orange and some have, I